Hi guys, Dude here, back with another Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel video, and today we're taking a look at the best staple cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, and for the first edition of this video, we're taking a look at the best staple monsters in Yu-Gi-Oh! So, staple cards are essential cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! That can work in any deck, and in general can interact with most of the decks in the current format, or whether it be current or future format, it is very powerful. So most of these staples, especially for the monsters, are mostly hand traps. So hand traps are cards that you can activate from hand to perform various effects and actions that disrupt your opponent from doing plays. So let's go with the best staple monsters first. This will be followed by a video on best staple spells and staple traps, so get ready for that soon. So let's get started with the best staple cards that you can have in Master Duel. And oh boy, we have a 65 card list here, so I just maxed out the copies. Um, yeah, I just found out that the max size for the main deck here is 65, so it's pretty cool. So first off, we have DD Crow. Let's ignore Driver here first. So DD Crow is a hand trap where quick effect, you can discard this card to the graveyard and then target one card in your opponent's graveyard, banish that target. In meta where Teargaments and Branded are very popular, DD Crow is one of the best hand traps to have right now because it disrupts their plays, it cuts off their fusion plays. For Teargaments, banishing a name prevents them from fusion summoning. For Branded, if they activate Branded in red and you DD Crow the target, they won't be able to use it. So DD Crow is really great for that. And if there's a deck that requires you to have decks that have graveyard effects from their spells and traps, you can use DD Crow to banish those cards. Example, if your opponent is trying to retrieve a Sky Striker spell in the graveyard, you can cut that off with DD Crow. If there's an Eldritch Trap, you can banish that and prevent it from activating during end phase. So DD Crow is a very versatile hand trap right now. Even Matmech, remove like their Sigma, they'll barely be able to play. So yeah, DD Crow is a very versatile hand trap that, even though Bystials exist, this is pretty powerful because it can hit anything in the graveyard. So that's really nice. And at SR, this is pretty cool. Very affordable budget hand trap and budget staple in general. Next, we have Effect Veiler. Effect Veiler is a quick effect where you can send this card from your hand to graveyard, target one effect monster your opponent controls, and negate the effects of that face-up monster until the end of the turn. So one of the best things about Effect Veiler is that this is not once per turn. If you have 3 Effect Veiler in hand, you can negate. You can use Effect Veiler thrice, negate a board, prevent them from doing anything. Best part, another great thing, it's a tuner. So if you have like Sword Soul, you summon a level 7 and you don't have any other tuner, you can just normal summon Veiler to go into your synchro plays. And this is also a light monster, which is a factor in some decks. You can discard this for light material. You can use this for chaos-like effects. A really versatile hand trap. It's an old school hand trap, but it's still one of the best hand traps around. The face-up negate is still powerful and always can catch opponents off guard. So yeah. Next up, we have Droll and Lockbird. So Droll and Lockbird has been generally powerful for quite a while. So Droll and Lockbird, the summary of this effect is that if your opponent adds a card from their deck to hand, you activate this, and after that they cannot search anymore. They cannot add cards from their deck to hand anymore. So really powerful. So this is gonna be good in future formats. So this is good against decks like Fluanderies, but in future formats, Droll and Lockbird is going to be a very powerful meta staple, and at SR, it's very cheap. You can just craft this and you have a really solid staple lineup. Next up, we have Kurikara Divincarnate. So Kurikara is a monster removal, but that works by tributing all face-up monsters on the field that have activated their effects this turn in your opponent's monster zone. So if your opponent is setting up a board. They're activating their monster effects on field by before their turn ends. You summon this and just erase their board, and you have it gains 1,500 attack for each monster attributed. So you have a huge beat stick, and during the end phase, you can target one monster in the opponent's graveyard and special summon it to your field. You can steal an opponent's monster that you attributed, so that's pretty nasty. Really, really powerful. You are staple. It's great right now. It's gonna be good in future formats in Master Duel, and it's kind of expensive, but if you were able to craft this is pretty a pretty great hand trap. Of course, we have Maxx. So Maxx, when your opponent special summons, you can draw one card after resolving this. So really nasty. Perhaps the best hand trap in Yu-Gi-Oh, the best hand trap in Master Duel and OCG. This punishes your opponent from special summoning by drawing cards. This allows you to gain cards that allow you to counter your opponent, gain enough combo pieces, or draw into your board breakers. Really powerful card here. So Maxx is a must-have in any Master Duel deck, in any competitive setting, in any rank setting. So yeah, must-have. Next we have Phantazmay Gamma. So Phantazmay Gamma is a hand trap negate where you special summon this along with Cyphering Driver to negate a monster effect. So this is great for negating Maxx, negating Ash Blossom if you don't have monsters on the field. Worth noting that when you summon this along with Driver, they're banished during the end phase if you special summon them during the opponent's turn. So you won't be able to use them. But if you use them on your turn, you can have an instant level 8 synchro thanks to Driver being a level 6. And then Gamma being a level 2 tuner. So really powerful. Next up, we have Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit. So the effect of Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit is simple. When a spell trap is on the field, when a monster or when a spell trap face up is activated, their effects are activated, you send this card from hand or field to the graveyard and destroy that card. So you basically pop a card with this. Really powerful. The best part is that it activates on field, so you can summon this using emergency teleport for extra disruption. It's pretty weird to do that, but it's pretty nice. So this is also level 3 tuner, so this is pretty usable in decks like Punk. You can also use this in any synchro strategy in general, so really cool. Next up, we have Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherries. Now, Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherries hasn't seen as much use in Master Duel compared to other formats, but Ghost Reaper is really great when the meta is tier 0, tier 1, or where the meta has like 5 decks, 3 decks. You can just use this and reveal one card in your extra deck, and that extra deck target that you revealed, if your opponent has it, all the copies of that card will be banished. So if this is great for mirror matches, this is great for tier 0 metas. And that's really impressive. So this is pretty niche for now, but in the future, this can be really good. So just keep an eye out for Winter Cherries. It's also level 3 tuners. That's always great. Next up, we have Ash Blossom. Second most popular hand trap in Master Duel. So Ash Blossom is pretty simple. When your opponent activates an effect that adds a card from deck to hand, searching. When your opponent special summons from deck, or sends a card from deck to graveyard, you can use Ash Blossom to negate it. This is also level 3 tuner, so great for synchro plays. So yeah, very powerful hand trap. This is also part of the free bundle. So you can get this for free, and you have one of the most powerful hand traps in Yu-Gi-Oh! Next up, we have Ghost Belle and Haunted Mansion. So Ghost Belle and Haunted Mansion did not see that much use until Teargaments and the new branded support arrived. So Ghost Belle is pretty simple. It's kind of like Ash, except you activate this when your opponent adds a card from graveyard to hand, deck, or extra deck. So when they recycle from graveyard, or when you do a Monster Reborn effect, or when you try to banish a card from the graveyard, you can negate this. So this can negate Called by the Grave, this can negate Monster Reborn, this can negate Teargament effects, this can negate Branded in Red, this can negate Bystials. So very versatile hand trap right now. Zombie level 3, of course, always handy if the hand trap is a tuner. Next up, we have Ghost Mourner and Moonlit Chill. This is kind of like Effect Vader. So, discard this card, target one face up, negate its effects. And then if that face-up monster leaves the field, the controller takes damage equal to its original attack, so it can do some bit of burn damage, but it's basically just Effect Vader esque, except it's not a quick effect. Next we have Skullmeister. Skullmeister is basically a budget version of Ghost Belle. So when the card effect is activated in your opponent's graveyard, you can negate the effect. So very general, very simple. If you can't afford Ghost Belle, you can get Skullmeister. It's funny that I have Ghost Belle but not Skullmeister, so we can just let's see if we can craft this. So let's just go with this. There we go. Skullmeister, very simple. Next up, we have Token Collector. So Token Collector is great during adventure meta, and whatever tokens are like tier 1 decks that have tokens, so like Sword Soul, really powerful. So when you special summon this, it erases the tokens. So that's really cool. It gains attack based on the tokens destroyed, but it kind of doesn't matter, but it just erases the tokens in general. Next, we have Artifact Lancea. Artifact Lancea is you discard this you tribute this from hand or field, and neither player can banish cards for the rest of the turn. So if your opponent's playing something like Wanderers or Runic, they can't really do their banish plays. It's really nasty against those decks, especially even against Bystials where they need to banish their stuff to be summoned. So you just activate Lancea and they won't be able to do that. Really handy in BO1 settings. Next up, we have Dimension Shifter. Dimension Shifter is the opposite of Lancea. So when if you have no cards in the graveyard, you activate this from hand to send to graveyard, and until the end of the next turn for 2 turns, any card sent to the graveyard is banished instead. This is really powerful. This can get toxic. Basically, any card that you send is gonna be banished. You can't recover. Decks that require their stuff to be in the graveyard can't really play. Decks like Wanderers can, but still, this is pretty nasty. And if you have this is one of the best hand traps if your deck can play it. Next up, we have a Bystial package. So 1 Magnum, 1 Joyous Worm, and 1 Baldrake. So Magnamut, you target 1 light or dark monster and banish it and special summon. This becomes a quick effect if your opponent has a monster. So this can cut off plays like DD Crow, except you have a summon. So this is DD Crow, but the result is a 2/5 attack beatstick. And you can activate its effect. So when it's end phase, it can add any dragon monster from deck or graveyard to your hand, except for itself. So you can use that to get Joyous Worm or Baldrake. Joyous Worm has the same summoning effect, but this one, when it leaves the field or sent from the field to the graveyard, you can target 1 special summon monster opponent controls, send it to the graveyard, non-destruction, so that's really great removal. Next up, we have Bystial Baldrake. Baldrake, when your opponent summons a Ritual, Fusion, Synchro Xyz, and or Link monster, not during the damage step, you contribute 1 other light or dark monster and banish one of those special summon monsters. Really great disruption. So these 3 are the bare minimum for Bystial package if you want to run them kind of like Handtraps. So that's really cool. Next up, we have Dinowrestler Pankratops, one of the best going second cards. So if your opponent controls more monsters than you do, you can special summon this card. And you can tribute this to destroy 1 card your opponent controls. Really simple card removal, doesn't eat up your normal summon. So this is very versatile. Great for decks that can afford a lot of board breakers, and very versatile. And at 3 in Master Duel, this is at 1 in OCG and TCG. Since you have this at 3, you can draw into it more. Next up, we have Fantastical Dragon Phantazmay. So Phantazmay, when your opponent special summons a Link monster, can special summon this card. Draw cards equal to the number of Link monsters your opponent controls plus 1, and then shuffle shuffle cards from your hand to the deck equal to the number of Link monsters they control. So you can just this allows you to kind of like have a mulligan effect and add a new card to your hand. So really versatile. And then when your opponent cards activate a card or effect, targets a monster you control, you can discard one card and negate the activation and destroy. So this is a really powerful card. Level 7, if the meta shifts into a link heavy one, Fantastical becomes more dominant, becomes more powerful. So we're gonna go with the board breaker Handtraps here. So that's not really Handtraps, board breaker staple. So Lava Golem, you can special summon by tributing 2 monsters they control, and then after this you cannot normal summon. This is great for trap decks that do not need to normal as much. You can instantly remove 2 monsters without any worry. And then you can deal burn damage to your opponent during their standby phase if they can't remove this. Next up, Gamma Seal, the Sea Turtle Kaiju. This is all for all the Kaijus here. So, Kaijus, you can special summon this from your opponent's field in attack position by tributing 1 monster. And if your opponent controls another Kaiju monster, you can special summon another Kaiju if you have 2 of these. So that's really cool. Very simple removal, and any deck that can run a Kaiju going second it's really powerful. It's a very simple form of removal. It doesn't trigger some graveyard effects. It doesn't destroy, so it's really nasty. Next is Ring Dragon of Frost Sphere Mode. So Sphere Mode is Lava Golem, but you remove 3 monsters from either side of the field, and this counts as a normal summon, so this is unlike Lava Golem. But yeah, this instantly removes 3 monsters, and that's nasty. Finally, we have Nibiru the Primal Being. So during the main phase, if your opponent's normal or special summon 5 or more monsters this turn, you can tribute as many face-up monsters on the field as possible and turn all those into a big chunky token whose combined attack and defense is based on all the monsters you tributed. This is one of the best removal cards, and this is really nasty. And if your opponent runs a combo deck, something like Sword Soul, which summons 5 at the very least by their end board, yeah, you can just Nibiru them and wreck their board. So yeah, this is pretty much all the staple monsters that you should have in Master Duel. These are all usable in a lot of decks, and this is really powerful. And yeah, if you have any comments on other staple monsters that we might have missed, you can share that below. If you like this video, you can leave a like and you can subscribe to help the channel grow. You can share this video as well if you have a friend that wants to learn Yu-Gi-Oh, wants to play Yu-Gi-Oh, and wants to know more about what are the best cards to use. You can share this staple monsters video, and it's really cool. But for now, thank you for watching this awesome video. Once again, I will say that we'll be having a staple spells and staple traps video soon and uploaded. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, but for now, thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. So bye guys.